The vast darkness of space hummed with an electric tension as the alien vessel approached Earth's orbital perimeter. Commander Kim Jae-hwan stood motionless, his dark eyes fixed on the holographic display that tracked the incoming diplomatic ship. Beside him, Dr. Yoon Soo-jin's fingers danced across complex computer interfaces, analyzing every microscopic detail of the approaching craft. The Galactic Confederation delegation had no idea what awaited them. They believed humans were a primitive species, barely worthy of serious consideration. Their advanced sensors and centuries of interstellar exploration had convinced them that Earth was just another insignificant planet waiting to be catalogued and potentially controlled. As the sleek metallic vessel entered Earth's atmosphere, military and scientific personnel remained absolutely calm. No panic, no unnecessary movements. Just calculated precision that would become a hallmark of human interaction with extraterrestrial life. The landing site was a carefully prepared neutral zone in the Korean demilitarized zone, chosen specifically to send a subtle message about human strategic thinking. Rolling hills surrounded a perfectly prepared landing platform, with multiple hidden defense systems carefully concealed beneath seemingly ordinary terrain. When the alien ship's doors opened, 3 beings emerged. They were tall, approximately 2.5 meters, with silvery skin that seemed to shimmer under Earth's sunlight. Their movement suggested incredible technological sophistication, each step calculated and precise. The lead alien, wearing intricate ceremonial robes, stepped forward. Its translator device activated, producing a grammatically perfect but emotionally flat communication. Greetings, representatives of Earth. We are the diplomatic corps of the Galactic Confederation. We are here to discuss your planet's potential integration into our collective. Jae-hwan's response was measured. No aggression, no submission. Pure professional diplomacy. Welcome to Earth. We are prepared to discuss potential cooperative relationships. What the aliens didn't realize was the complexity behind those simple words. Every single human in that delegation had been carefully selected. Jae-hwan was not just a military commander, but a psychological warfare expert. Soo-jin wasn't merely a scientist, but a specialist in alien technological systems and communication strategies. The initial meeting was meticulously choreographed. Each human movement, each spoken word was designed to provide information while simultaneously gathering intelligence. The aliens believed they were observing a straightforward first contact scenario. In reality, they were being comprehensively analyzed. Soo-jin's advanced sensors were recording everything, from the molecular composition of the alien beings to the electromagnetic frequencies of their communication devices. Her team had already developed preliminary decryption algorithms before the aliens had even landed. The Confederation representatives presented their standard integration proposal, a document they had used countless times with hundreds of planetary civilizations. It outlined a systematic approach to technological and cultural assimilation, with the underlying assumption of human technological inferiority. What they didn't know was that this very document would become their most significant mistake. Jae-hwan listened carefully, his expression neutral. He understood the psychological game being played. The aliens were used to civilizations either immediately submitting or showing aggressive, predictable resistance. Humans would do neither. We appreciate your proposal, Jae-hwan stated, his voice calm and professional. Our legal and scientific teams will review the documentation thoroughly. We value comprehensive understanding. The alien delegation exchanged almost imperceptible glances. They had expected immediate rejection or enthusiastic acceptance. This measured professional response was entirely unexpected. As the initial meeting concluded, the aliens returned to their ship feeling confident. They believed they had successfully initiated first contact with another simple planetary civilization. They would soon discover how profoundly wrong they were. Unbeknownst to them, every second of their interaction was being analyzed by the most advanced artificial intelligence systems humanity had developed. Each movement, each communication frequency, each subtle diplomatic nuance was being processed, understood, and cataloged. The humans had not just received visitors, They had initiated the most sophisticated intelligence-gathering operation in their planetary history, and the Galactic Confederation had no idea what was coming. The research facility looked ordinary from the outside, a simple concrete building nestled in the mountains of South Korea. Inside, Dr. Hyun Soo-jin worked with a team of scientists who were anything but ordinary. They had been studying the fragments of alien technology recovered from the first diplomatic meeting, and something extraordinary was about to happen. Scattered across massive white work tables were pieces of alien communication devices, power modules, and fragments of computational systems. Most scientists would have been overwhelmed, but Soo-jin saw patterns where others saw chaos. Her fingers moved quickly across holographic interfaces, running complex algorithms that merged human computational thinking with intuitive pattern recognition. The alien technology was unlike anything humans had ever encountered. Its molecular structure suggested computational capabilities that seemed almost magical. Some of her team believed they were just analyzing technology. Soo-jin knew they were rewriting the fundamental understanding of physics and information transfer. The breakthrough came unexpectedly. A junior researcher named Park Ji-hun accidentally dropped a quantum processing chip, and when it hit the floor, something remarkable happened. The chip didn't break. It restructured itself. Its internal molecular arrangement shifted, adapting to the impact in a way no human-made technology could. Soo-jin's eyes widened. This wasn't just advanced technology. This was living technology. Within hours, her team had developed a preliminary understanding of the chip's adaptive capabilities. They realized the alien technology wasn't just a machine. It was more like a biological organism that could think, adapt, and evolve. Global research centers were immediately notified. Government labs in the United States, China, Russia, and European Union began collaborative efforts. The international scientific community understood that this was more than a technological discovery. This was a potential revolution in human understanding. The alien communication modules they had, initially considered complex, became something entirely different under Soo-jin's analysis. These weren't just communication devices. They were intricate neural networks capable of learning and transforming themselves instantaneously. Military researchers quickly became interested. If these technologies could be understood and replicated, they would represent a massive leap in defensive and computational capabilities. Soo-jin's team worked around the clock. Coffee machines never stopped. Computer screens displayed complex molecular diagrams and computational models that seemed to dance and shift like living organisms. Within 2 weeks, they had developed their first breakthrough. A small computational module that could adapt its own programming based on external stimuli. It wasn't just a copy of alien technology. It was a human interpretation, enhanced and reimagined. The global scientific community was stunned. Journals published initial findings. Technology companies began speculating about potential applications. What seemed like science fiction was rapidly becoming scientific reality. Military strategists understood the implications immediately. This wasn't just about creating better computers or communication systems. This was about developing technologies that could think, adapt, and potentially predict complex scenarios faster than any human brain. Soo-jin knew they were standing at the edge of something massive. The alien technology they had initially seen, as incomprehensible, was now becoming a blueprint for human innovation. Her team began developing adaptive communication systems that could potentially interface with alien technologies. They created computational models that could learn and transform themselves in milliseconds. Each breakthrough was carefully documented, tested, and verified. The Galactic Confederation, still believing humans were a primitive species, had no idea what was happening on this small blue planet. Their supposedly superior technology was being decoded, understood, and reimagined by a species they had dramatically underestimated. As weeks turned into months, the technological gap between humans and the alien confederation began to shrink. What had seemed like an impossible task was now becoming a reality through human creativity, persistence, and an unexpected ability to understand complex systems. Soo-jin looked at her team. Young researchers from different backgrounds united by an incredible vision. They weren't just studying alien technology. They were preparing humanity for its next great leap. The technological breakthrough had begun, and nobody, especially not the Galactic Confederation, saw it coming. The tension began subtly. Economic pressures appeared first. Strange trade restrictions, unexpected tariffs, and complex bureaucratic barriers designed to limit human technological expansion. The Galactic Confederation believed they could slowly strangle humanity's growth without direct military confrontation. Park Min-ki understood their strategy immediately. As the lead diplomatic strategist, he saw the invisible war being waged through economic channels. Each restriction was carefully analyzed, each economic barrier meticulously examined. Governments worldwide began receiving strange communication blocks. Scientific research funding mysteriously disappeared. International technology transfer channels became increasingly complicated. To an ordinary observer, these might have seemed like bureaucratic complications. To Min-ki, they were clear acts of economic warfare. The human response was not what the Galactic Confederation expected. Instead of panic or aggressive military posturing, humans responded with calculated economic creativity. Technology companies began developing alternative trade networks. Research institutions found innovative funding mechanisms. Universities created international collaborative platforms that bypassed traditional diplomatic channels. Min-ki's team started mapping the Confederation's economic pressure points. They discovered something fascinating. The alien system was incredibly rigid. While humans could adapt quickly, the Confederation's economic model was built on centuries of predictable interactions. Small economic disruptions began. A technology startup in Seoul would suddenly create a revolutionary communication platform that rendered existing alien trade restrictions meaningless. A research group in California would develop a computational system that simplified complex international transaction protocols. Each move was strategic. Each innovation was a calculated response to economic pressure. The Galactic Confederation's initial communication channels started experiencing mysterious disruptions. Not aggressive attacks, but subtle interference that made their systems increasingly inefficient. Communication delays increased. Transaction processing became complicated. Military strategists watched carefully. These were not traditional acts of warfare. This was psychological economic resistance, something the Confederation had never encountered before. Min-ki understood that humans had a unique advantage. They could think asymmetrically. Where the Confederation saw straight lines, humans saw complex networks. Where aliens expected predictable responses, humans created innovative solutions. Global technology companies began developing alternative communication infrastructures. These weren't just technological platforms. They were carefully designed systems that could adapt, transform, and respond to complex economic pressures. Universities worldwide started collaborative research programs focused on understanding and countering alien economic strategies. Young researchers saw this not as a challenge, but as an incredible opportunity to demonstrate human creativity. The psychological warfare was subtle, but incredibly effective. The Galactic Confederation found their supposedly advanced economic systems becoming increasingly complicated. Human innovations were creating unexpected complexity that their rigid systems couldn't easily process. Communication transcripts between Confederation leaders revealed growing frustration. Their standard intervention strategies were failing. Humans were not behaving according to any previously recorded planetary interaction model. Min-ki's team continued their careful strategic analysis. They weren't just responding to economic pressure. They were systematically demonstrating human adaptive capabilities. Each economic countermove was designed to show the Confederation that humanity was fundamentally different from any civilization they had previously encountered. Trade restrictions meant nothing to a species that could rapidly innovate. Economic barriers became opportunities for technological development. What was meant to limit human growth instead accelerated their technological evolution. The initial conflict was not about military power. It was about economic creativity, psychological resilience, and the ability to transform challenges into opportunities. As months passed, the Galactic Confederation realized they had made a critical mistake. They had approached humanity believing they were dealing with a predictable, linear civilization. Instead, they had encountered a species that could turn economic warfare into a platform for unprecedented innovation. Minky watched the developing scenario with calm professionalism. Humanity was not just surviving the economic pressure. They were thriving, learning, and growing stronger with each attempted restriction. The initial conflict escalation had begun, and humanity was just getting started. The first shots weren't fired with weapons. They were launched with complex computational algorithms and strategic disruption protocols. Commander Kim Jae-hwan watched the holographic battle display, his fingers moving with surgical precision across quantum computational interfaces. The Galactic Confederation's massive fleet approached Earth's solar system, believing their technological superiority guaranteed absolute victory. They were wrong. Humanity had spent months preparing, not just militarily, but psychologically. Every technological breakthrough, every adaptive system developed by Dr. Hyun Soo-jin's team was now a weapon more powerful than any traditional armament. The alien fleet consisted of 17 massive battleships, each capable of destroying entire planetary systems. Their weapons technology represented centuries of interstellar warfare experience. Conventional military analysis would suggest Earth stood no chance. But humans were never conventional. As the first alien ships entered weapon range, something unexpected happened. Their complex targeting systems suddenly became unreliable. Navigation computers began displaying impossible data. Communication channels fractured into meaningless signals. Jae-hwan's strategy was brilliant in its simplicity. Instead of direct confrontation, humans had developed adaptive interference technologies that could manipulate alien computational systems from within. The first alien battleship experienced total system failure, not through direct weapon attacks, but through intricate software manipulation. Its defensive shields collapsed. Navigation systems became confused. Weapon platforms randomly activated and deactivated. Massive ships designed for galactic conquest suddenly became massive, confused metal objects floating helplessly in space. Smaller human defense platforms, looking almost insignificant compared to alien battleships, moved with incredible precision. They weren't just defending. They were systematically dismantling the alien fleet's computational infrastructure. Each human vessel carried advanced quantum computational systems that could predict and counter alien attack patterns faster than their original designers could comprehend. Where alien strategists expected linear responses, human systems provided complex, unpredictable tactical movements. The psychological impact was devastating. Alien commanders watched in disbelief as their supposedly invincible fleet became increasingly vulnerable. Human tactics weren't just effective, they were fundamentally transforming the understanding of space warfare. Weapon systems that had conquered hundreds of planetary civilizations became useless against human adaptive technologies. The Galactic Confederation had never encountered a species that could effectively hack their entire military infrastructure. Jae-hwan's team had essentially turned the alien fleet's technological superiority into a critical weakness. Complex systems became vulnerabilities when faced with truly innovative counter-strategies. Some alien ships attempted retreat, but human computational systems had already predicted and blocked potential escape routes. The entire confrontation looked less like a traditional battle and more like a complex three-dimensional chess match. Military analysts watching the conflict realized they were witnessing something unprecedented. Humanity wasn't just defending itself. It was demonstrating a completely new approach to interstellar conflict. The battle lasted less than 6 hours. 17 advanced alien battleships were effectively neutralized without a single human casualty. No traditional weapons were used. No direct physical confrontation occurred. When the dust settled, The Galactic Confederation found themselves facing a fundamental reality. They had completely underestimated humanity's capabilities. Jaehwan's final communication to the defeated fleet was simple and professional. Your technological approach has been thoroughly analyzed and neutralized. Future interactions will be on equal terms. The message carried a clear subtext. Humanity was not asking for permission to be recognized as a galactic power. They were stating it as a matter of fact. News of the confrontation spread quickly across human communication networks. There was no celebration, no excessive pride, just a calm understanding that a significant threshold had been crossed. The interstellar confrontation had ended, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, not through traditional military might, but through unprecedented technological creativity and adaptive strategic thinking. The aftermath of the confrontation transformed everything. Galactic political structures that had remained unchanged for centuries suddenly became fluid, dynamic systems. Diplomatic representatives from Earth arrived at the Central Galactic Confederation headquarters, not as supplicants, but as equal partners. Their approach was calm, professional, and fundamentally different from any previous planetary civilization. Dr. Hyun Soo-jin led the initial diplomatic team. Her background in advanced computational systems and intercultural communication made her the perfect representative. She understood that this wasn't just a political negotiation, it was a fundamental reimagining of interstellar relationships. The Confederation's leadership was stunned. They had expected a defeated civilization seeking mercy. Instead, they encountered a species proposing completely new models of galactic cooperation. Humanity's proposal was revolutionary. Instead of traditional territorial claims or resource extraction, they suggested a collaborative technological exchange platform. Their technological breakthroughs would be shared, but with specific conditions that protected human interests. Young researchers from different human research centers were now being invited to collaborate on advanced technological projects. Universities worldwide began developing specialized interstellar communication and collaboration programs. The economic implications were massive. Human adaptive technologies could solve computational problems that had challenged the Confederation for centuries. What seemed like a military confrontation had transformed into an unprecedented technological partnership. Commander Kim Jae-hwan worked behind the scenes, ensuring that every diplomatic interaction maintained humanity's strategic advantage. He wasn't just protecting human interests, he was reshaping galactic interaction protocols. Other planetary civilizations watched carefully. They saw how a supposedly young species had effectively challenged the most advanced technological civilization in known space. The message was clear. Technological creativity mattered more than historical precedents. Economic systems began shifting. Trade routes that had been stable for generations suddenly became more dynamic. Human companies started developing adaptive trading platforms that could adjust to complex interstellar economic variations. The Galactic Confederation's rigid hierarchical structure started experiencing internal transformations. Younger members began questioning traditional approaches. Humanity had demonstrated that innovation could be more powerful than established systems. Communication technologies developed by human research teams became standard across multiple planetary systems. What was once considered experimental was now becoming the new technological standard. Military strategists worldwide understood that the confrontation wasn't just a victory, it was a fundamental redefinition of human potential. The entire planet's perspective had shifted from being a potentially colonized planet to a critical galactic partner. Universities began developing specialized interstellar diplomacy and technology transfer programs. Young students saw incredible opportunities where previous generations had seen limitations. The transformation wasn't just technological or political, it was psychological. Humanity had proven that creativity, adaptability, and innovative thinking could overcome supposedly insurmountable technological barriers. Alien civilizations that had previously ignored or underestimated humans now sought collaborative partnerships. Research exchanges became common. Technology transfer platforms emerged that fundamentally changed interstellar scientific collaboration. Park Min-ki, managing complex diplomatic negotiations, understood that this was more than a political moment. This was a species-level transformation. Humanity was no longer asking to be recognized. They were defining the terms of recognition. Global human communication networks buzzed with excitement, not through traditional media, but through sophisticated collaborative platforms that allowed real-time global and interstellar discussions. The galactic map was being redrawn, not through traditional territorial claims, but through technological innovation and collaborative potential. As years passed, historians would look back at this moment as a critical turning point. The day humanity didn't just join the galactic community. The day humanity fundamentally transformed what that community meant. The final message was clear. Humans were not just another planetary civilization. They were a transformative species that would reshape galactic understanding for generations to come.